Well, it turns out that revenge is a dish best served cold. I said bish, like Bishnoi.
Sure you did,
Of course I did. You can go back and run the tape back, and that's exactly what it is that I said. Revenge is a dish best served cold because Pakistan have avenged the loss from 2024 that pretty much knocked them out of the tournament, and incredibly have a 100% win streak so far in the tournament.
2 wins out of 2.
Coming ahead of what will be easily their toughest game, the India game. So they've actually done their job. I mean, full credit. We were wondering whether or not this would be a tricky chase, but I don't think there was ever a moment where even for a second it looked like there'd be any doubts, especially once the spinners came out.
When we were looking at the first innings and the initial indicators, I thought that this was going to be anything but the match that we'd seen in New York between these two sides. Was the way that Pakistan went about their business in the power play. That's not to say that they had bucket loads of runs, but just the confidence and the freedom with which Sahibzada Farhan was playing, and he continued to go on after that as well for a couple of more overs. I think that pretty much the way that the Pakistan players were conducting themselves, and they were ensuring that they would be somewhere in the vicinity of 180-200 runs by the end of this match. You sort of had a feeling that, yeah, this is Pakistan having things in control. And once that total did reach around the 190 mark, you knew this was going to be a very uphill task for the USA team. They did well the previous time, but aided by the conditions at that time, their pacers came into the picture last time around. This time though, you required the spinners to do some magic, which unfortunately did not happen. There wasn't a lot in this pitch for the pacers. The slow bowlers had to be more smart, had to have more guile, had to have more variety. That went missing, and the constant flow of runs when Pakistan were batting ensured that they got to that total, which would have been a big ask for this USA team to go ahead and then chase down.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, the thing is that what happened also, the other thing which is there aside from conditions, low scoring game. This time around, we required a USA, if they were supposed to make any kind of a match out of this, they had to go high octane. But whilst they made a decent enough start, the power play was fine. Once the spinners came on, there was precious little they could do. This was a pitch that did clearly seem to assist a little bit of, it did grip. I'm not saying it turned massively, but it wasn't an easy pitch to generate power on. And the fact is that Pakistan, very cleverly, they had 4 spinners. So they read the conditions. They knew full well that, okay, this is going to be that sort of a pitch. You started off, you had Abrar Ahmed bowl in the power play. Thereafter, in the middle overs, you had Shadab and Nawaz really choked things. And then later on, they had Mr. Usman Tariq himself. Yeah. So there was plenty of spin on offer. And actually, it was a very good, easy this thing for them in that regard, that once the spinners came out, the USA batters, barring a Shubam Ranjane, everyone found it tough to get going, and I don't blame them. I mean, this is not that kind of a pitch, but he was the only one, and he too, by the way, took on the pacers.
Yeah, and the way that he was going, those lusty blows, he did eventually get over the 50-run mark, right? You were hoping that, maybe some of these hits had come a bit early, then we would have had a real match on our hands. Towards the end, the required run rate had gotten way over what USA could have gone ahead and touched. But had Shubham come up with that knock a little earlier, or maybe if he was promoted up the order, you could have had a change in the story. But he came a bit too late, perhaps a position over where he played, and that would have meant playing above Milind Kumar perhaps. That would have given him some more time to go ahead and leave a bigger mark on this game. But he looked good, especially with those couple of hits right towards the end. It was that Shaheen Shah Afridi over where he really came into his own. Those 2 sixes were very impressive.
Absolutely. But the thing is, I think, see, as we said, they lacked any acceleration in the middle overs, and that was, I think, their undoing. Took Monang Patel 3 of 10, a Milind you were mentioning 29 of 22, going to strike rate of 130. Even after that, the likes of Harmeet Singh also offered some batting, but whilst trying to go for it, ended up perishing. And by that point in time, truth be told, the asking rate was far too high. At that point in time, it was pretty much a case of mitigating loss, trying to ensure that the margin is as little. But again, for USA, whereas at this time of the tournament, last time around, they were pretty much in contention. Now, though, I think they're staring at a very early elimination because they've got, even though the next two games are winnable, I mean, Pakistan, you would expect them to beat Namibia. Even if they lose to India,
unless they have intentions of making it a habit of losing to associate nations in every T20 tournament.
At least one associate nation in every T20 World Cup, that would be quite something.
That'll be a bit of a stretch, against that USA side, given the experience, given the make of that team, given the little hype around the team as well. You knew that could be done. You would give that, let's say, a couple of percentage points at the start.
Yeah.
When it comes to this Namibia match, it looks like a hopeless case to expect Namibia to give us a surprise.
Absolutely. Also, what's worth noting is that with this side, this Pakistan side, they're much better equipped to deal with T20s right now. In Saibzada Farhan, they've got an opener who actually plays with intent, which helps. I know,
more so. I think to the part where you say that they've got the wherewithal in T20 cricket. I think why it looks like that at the moment is because of the bowling more so than the batting. I'll tell you why. Because batters, you see, there's only a couple we can name who have the heart and the intent and the skill more. So you may have the heart and intent, but you need the skill as well. I know one such popular batter who may have the heart, who may have the intent, but perhaps doesn't have the skill to be clearing. Perhaps I didn't say that, but
I did.
but perhaps doesn't have the skill or don't have the skill to do that. There are a couple of batters over there. However, with the bowling, and this is where Pakistan are benefiting from playing in Colombo all their matches, and they perhaps drew up a squad knowing very well that they will be playing in slowish conditions. It's exactly the kind of advantage that India had when they drafted in all those spinners, knowing that they'll be playing all their matches in Dubai. And Rohit Sharma was very clear that he wanted all those spinners. He was also very clear of the same formula for the T20 World Cup as well, because you knew where you'd be playing your matches and you changed your combination accordingly. Plus, you knew that you'd be playing your semi-final in Guyana. So the make of the Indian team, I'd say a little more was beneficial at the Champions Trophy, because you knew in what conditions you'd be playing. Teams may feel hard done by, but Pakistan at the moment as well had the similar advantage as well. You don't know where they'll be playing after this stage. At the moment, all 4 matches for them were slated to happen in Colombo only.
No, all their matches, I think, assuming they make it into the semis also, their matches will take place in Colombo. Even if it's by some miracle in India-Pak final, then it will take place in Colombo.
that of course will be there. Yeah.
So, of course, for that, they know this thing, and they built a good squad based around that. 4 spinners, that helps them a lot. Again, because I think their pacers have been liabilities in recent times. Even with Shaheen, see, today he got a wicket, but look at the economy he was going at. Yeah. Not a very great economy. I'm very surprised that Saim Ayub bowled 1 over, considering Nawaz, who's probably one of the more economical bowlers, had an over left.
Yeah.
They're also being helped by that. Aside from getting good conditions, their spinners are much improved. Shadab is looking much better than he looked, say, in 23.
I agree.
In 23, he looked a lost cause. Even 25. I think 24 he got dropped.
23, the one thing I remember, in fact, 22, the Asia Cup that had happened, where India won 2 and they won 1, I think. Was that 22?
No, they didn't. They won 1 each. One each. One in the group, and then after that in the
one that they won, I remember, and that's where Shadab had come in a bit handy. But he didn't look the same after that. After that tournament, he
looked decent. He looked decent. I remember in the World Cup also when they made the final, 22. Again, he was a key player there. Again, would come good with the bat on a couple of occasions. He did that today as well. I think he had a cameo, 20 odd. He got lower down the order. His problem had become his bowling. Yeah. He was just so one note at one point in time.
He was one note, as you say, very unidimensional. The variety was not there. And the thing with him was, again, he looked like a very condition specific bowler after a point. Yeah. When if there was no turn, where there was no assistance at all, if the ball doesn't move after pitching, he made himself look so predictable, so targetable, and that's what teams had started to do. But I think he's improved as far as varying his speed is concerned, and that's what's making him look like a better bowler than he was previously.
Exactly. So that's helped them overall. As I said, their squad looks better again. I think a lot of us, and I'm sure a lot of fans, a lot of you guys have been hoping. It would have been very funny to see them lose today after all the boycott drama that was taking place. Sadly, not to be. But of course, there is loss loading, assuming things go well. Although it'll be very interesting because I think even India will need to change their tactics a bit, because whilst the team they have right now is perfectly suited to Indian conditions, I have a sneaking suspicion you're going 3 spinners come Colombo. I think you might sit out a pacer, bring in Kuldeep, and you might entrust Abhishek a couple of overs here or there, because you're getting, if the pitch is going to play like this.
I'd be on board with that thought, and I don't think, because it's something that's given you success in the past as well, I don't think you're looking at bowling 2 out-and-out pacers and Hardik Pandya.
Correct.
Because Hardik has done the heavy lifting for you in the power play, and you know very much the fact that he can get the ball to move around in the power play. So maybe a 2-2 distribution between him, or a 1+2 plus another over here or there from the spinners. Varun, we've seen bowl in the power play on a couple of occasions.
Bowled in the power
exactly.
Play.
So maybe that can be the distribution, and yeah, Kuldeep is good with drying up runs in the middle overs. Perhaps could be the only game that he plays as well in this tournament, because otherwise Varun Chakravarti is the one who's starting ahead of Kuldeep Yadav. But it looks like a good proposition to me for India to be shifting to this. I know for a fact that they're not going to compromise on their batting depth, and this leaves them with the only option, and that is not something I would want as well.
No. We saw
exactly. Vizag, right?
Yeah, 4th T20 where they played with practically 6 batters.
Yeah, they were in complete experimental mode at that time, and that's fine. The series was locked in anyway. But yeah, you have
a good bowler in the power play as well. I agree with Shivam. His namesake says that yes, Shivam Dube could bowl. He did it in the Asia Cup final, and actually, I would dare say, acquitted himself well. Yeah. I didn't expect him to hold up as well as he did.
But when you have a Hardik, who
I think you could actually bowl Hardik 3 overs in the power play. Maybe give Arshdeep 2. So rotate between them, and Varun or Akshar can bowl 1, and then after that just apply the choke with spinners. Maybe if it's this kind of a slowish kind of track, you could actually bowl Dube 2 overs and tell him to vary his pace up ones with a cutter. We know he's got a wicked cutter on him. It worked very well in the Asia Cup. So those cutters also will come in handy. I'm not very worried about the conditions in that regard. I think India have a well-equipped team.
The only thing, it doesn't worry me. The only thing that gives me a bit of angst, just a bit of angst, is the fact that these are going to be different conditions. Now, what have you been doing over the last couple of weeks? Last couple of months in the build-up to the tournament. You've played a couple of home T20I series.
Well, more than a couple of months. Remember, it was, I think, December. Yeah, December pretty much. You played first year Australia. That was away.
Yes.
Then you had South Africa and New Zealand, both at home.
So,
and you were getting very different conditions.
You were daring to go close to 250, 300 runs. Those are the kind of pitches. From that to the sluggish sort of pitch in Colombo, that's a bit of a change. And I like the fact, from what I've picked up, I think the Indian team's moving from Delhi to Colombo the very next day after the Thursday match. So Friday they're expected to land in Colombo.
Correct.
Get themselves acclimatized. I like the fact that they're giving themselves just as much time as they possibly can. There's only so much you can do if you're playing on Thursday than on Sunday, because I really do feel that India do need that acclimatization. Pakistan may not necessarily need that much of it. The only acclimatization Pakistan will need, and that is something they can't do, is going to be match acclimatization to quality bowlers that India have. That's one thing that'll be new for Pakistan. Otherwise, they know how conditions are going to be, and it's always a beneficial thing once you're already aware of what to expect from the pitch.
Absolutely, that's the key. I think for them, they don't need to worry about acclimatization at all. They know they're playing all their games either in the Sinhalese Sports Club or the Premadasa. So for them, they're pretty sorted in that regard. All of their games are being played in Colombo, so it's good for them. But I'm not too worried if I'm India, because again, I look at it and I'm like, okay, I've seen these guys play in stodgy conditions just fine. Asia Cup being a key example. The only thing will be, will you make that switch? Because Indian conditions are very batter friendly for T20s right now. That will be the only worry. Anyway, I think, let's take a look at what it is our family members have to say as well, Shubham.
Just before that, Shivam wants us to tell our family members what the table looks like as well.
Yes.
Very momentarily though, I would say and hope that Pakistan are right up top. This is something I didn't expect to be saying, but such is the nature, such is the scheduling. I think this is only down to the scheduling that Pakistan find themselves right on top of the tree. 2 points that they got in the first match, another 2 from today's match. So in 2 matches, 2 wins makes it 4 points for them with a net run rate of a positive 0.932. Second placed India with a massive net run rate advantage with 1.450. 1 win out of 1 for India. USA are the team with 2 losses out of the 2 matches that they've played, and Namibia are the other ones who remain winless. As far as Netherlands are concerned, they find themselves with India and Pakistan in that bracket of teams that have won at least 1 match in this Group A.
Yeah, Group A, I mean, right now you'd expected who would be that third team. So far it looks like Netherlands who could. The problem is that Netherlands, I think actually if they had won the game against Pakistan, then it would have been better off, because I don't, with all due respect, seeing them competing with this Indian side. I don't. It would require a massive upset, and I don't see that happening. If they had beaten Pakistan though, then it would have been a very interesting situation.
Prospect, yeah.
Like how USA qualified out last year.
Yeah.
Out of the groups, you could have been seeing Netherlands do something similar.
Yeah, especially with Netherlands, what they've done in recent past as well, upsetting South Africa, that they've entertained us really, and they've really upped their standards, Netherlands as a nation. But yeah, came ever so close against Pakistan, just missed out on the final hurdle. If it wasn't for that catch drop, then maybe the conversation right now in this room could have been different. But very quickly, we'll take your comments before we say goodbye to you.
Before we finally do the actual farewell. So let's see.
Yeah.
Ruki Taiki says some of Osman Tariq's variations are clearly chucking. ICC should act as more such bowlers enter the beautiful game and spoil the sport. He can take easy wicket and all gets counted like Ajmal. I mean, see, that's the thing. I know we've covered his action a lot in the past, but if I actually look at some of his side-ons, it doesn't look like he's flexing anything more than 15 degrees. That's the funny thing, because if you're looking at it from behind, there's a clear flex and his stutter doesn't help matters. But when you're looking at him from side on, it actually doesn't look as bad.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is something, in fact, today when they were showing him in slow motion, it makes a bit of a difference when you're looking at him side on. But yeah, we can have our arguments about it, but as things stand, let's be clear on one thing. If the ICC has cleared him for this, then he's eligible to play, and there is nothing illegal about his action as things are.
Exactly. Abhishek Rawat asks, Shane and Harshit serve, the final happens in Colombo instead of Ahmedabad, which means that Park is playing the final. What impact will the shift of finals when you have on revenue? Massive or marginal? I mean, not so much from for the ICC
broadcast or from point of view, I don't see.
Ahmedabad will definitely not be happy, but I mean, it's part of the agreement, so there's precious little they can do about it.
You're definitely, the biggest thing you lose out on is ticket money. That then goes.
And don't forget, the Ahmedabad Stadium has well over 1 lakh capacity.
100,000.
And it would have been full. If it was an India final, you just know it would be full.
Yeah.
So in that sense, they'll lose out on a lot of revenue. The Ahmedabad ground.
Yeah.
No one else. ICC will not.
But I think the very fact that if it becomes an India-Pakistan final will make up for the revenue lost in the change of venue.
Oh, I doubt it will happen. No?
Yeah,
I highly doubt. But
fat chance. You've got better teams in this tournament.
Exactly. Scroll slightly lower. Harsh Rajput says India should utilize the power play as much as possible in Colombo. I agree. I think middle overs it becomes tough, and I really, really hope that if Abhishek is not fit for Namibia, that he's fine for Pakistan. Because you'll really need him there. He will be key. I remember it was even in the Asia Cup. He'd get you those quick fire starts, and he allowed the middle overs, the middle order to consolidate in the middle overs. You need that. You need that badly. Even today you saw, I think it was, New Zealand, Finn Allen and Tim Seifert.
Yeah.
They went crazy in the power play, and then after that it was just a matter of consolidating. Sure, it was smaller opposition in the UAE, but still a good showing from the two of them. Yeah. Incidentally, by the way, the first team to have won a match by 10 wickets in the T20 World Cup since India-England 2022. Hasn't happened since.
Okay.
Very, very bad memories, I agree.
Memories, yeah.
Alex Hales and Josh Butler.
Let's not get there.
Priyanshu says if Pak qualifies for the semi, then India versus New Zealand at Wankhede on 5th March. Oh, it's at Wankhede, then the ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Sky will be licking his lips. Scroll slightly down. Take a couple more comments and we can.
Yeah, we've taken that one.
We've taken that one. You're right, they're mostly similar. Lot of comments again on the bowling. This thing again, as I said, look at it from side on, it really isn't as bad. From the back, I understand. Freaking Awesome says all associate nations want to field first, irrespective of the conditions. I don't know why. SSC and Palakele are decent wickets for batting, but if your opposition scores 175 plus, it's tough to chase. Yeah, that's something I agree on, because I don't think, again, watching how effectively the Pakistan spinners were functioning, I don't think dew was effective.
There was any dew.
Yeah. In fact, I think it gets tougher to chase because the wicket tends to get a little on the slower side. So if I'm a team playing in these venues, I'd bat first. Regardless of the time, I'd say bat first, get your runs, because it gets a little tougher afterwards. Rookie Techie says USA missed Ali Khan. Yeah, actually, I think having Ali Khan would have made a big difference.
He got injured.
Absolutely. Anyhow, we'll take your leave.
We will take a leave. With that comes the best part of the show, which is having vegetables. But we'll take your leave, but we'll see you tomorrow. Not in too much time do we meet again. The dugout will happen.
Actually.
See you guys tomorrow. We build up to India's match. Enough of the talk. Let's talk about what India need to do for their next match. We will also be getting you reports from the ground. Siddharth's already filed one today. We look forward to bringing you another couple of reports tomorrow, because that match is going to happen not too far away from where we are right now. So it's good night from the two of us. Do watch some of the other videos which are already uploaded on the channel. Follow us on the other social media platforms as well. We're there on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube. I'm guessing you would have already subscribed to. So bye bye, good night, as Abhishek Rawat say, and Priyanshu also says good night as well, guys. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Nandri, Shubhratri, Shab Baghair. Eat your vegetables.
Don't trouble your mothers and subscribe to Sports Today.